Hi guys, it's Miss Moore and welcome to my channel. Today's topic, we'll be talking about endometriosis and how I found out that I had endometriosis. So basically, it's just the tissues, the lining of the inside of your uterus is found outside. And it could be on your fallopian tube, your ovaries, your bladder, wherever. For me, it was found all the way up by my navel. So let's backtrack. So after all this, I just found out it wasn't just a bad period. It wasn't a bad cycle at all. So after my first cycle, it was okay. By 9th grade, my cycle went AWOL. So I was having bad symptoms, back pain, throwing up, passing out, being sent home from school, not being able to go to work, to the point where I'm on the floor asking my mother to take me to the hospital. It was that bad. Eventually, I went to the GYN. I told her what was going on. They put me on birth control, which helped a little, but it also was giving me side effects. So I stopped taking them. The symptoms went on being symptoms. I was just taking extra Tylenol, Excedrin, Aleve, you name it, I was taking it just so I wasn't in that much pain. And even that sometimes didn't work for me. So after a while, I started to realize that I was having a shooting pain all the way up to my belly button area. And I realized that I had like a bump there. So it was just a little bit strange for me. And in my head, the bump was strange, but I realized it was the shooting pain was happening when I was having my cycle, which I was just like, okay, maybe this is just another add-on to my symptoms. But eventually months went by, and maybe like a month or two actually went by, and I went back to my GYN, and I was explaining my symptoms to her, and I was telling her that, oh, I have a bump right there, and it normally hurts when I'm on my period. So she looked at it and said, oh, it looks like it's because of your piercing. I'm like, no, it's not because of my piercing. And then she wanted me to go back on birth control. I told her I didn't want to go back on birth control. So she's just like, oh, there's nothing much I can do. So I'm just like, okay, no problem. Then again, my cycle came back and it was still bad. Went back to a different GYN, but within the same facility. And she was just like, maybe you said during your period that you have the pain. I was like, yes. She's like, maybe it's endometriosis. I was like, okay, what is that? You know, she didn't say much about it. So, but she said that she didn't want to send me to surgery to just cut me for no reason. Maybe, you know, I didn't understand she didn't explain, so I really didn't understand. I went home, I researched it. I went home and then I started researching endometriosis. I started going on YouTube and whatever, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't that great. I shouldn't be on Google at all trying to find out extra stuff. Like, I just feel like the doctors should just tell me instead of me going home and just finding a whole bunch of crap. So eventually I kept on feeling the same pain. I kept on going back to the GYN, and I was like, you know what, let me just go to my PCP. I went to my PCP. He said, oh, that looks like a hernia, so let's send you for a sono. Went for a sono, nothing came up. I went back to him. He saw the results. I was like, I'm still feeling the shooting pain, and it's stabbing, and it's like when I'm on my cycle, my lower back is like, it's hurting so bad. My legs feel like it's numb, and it was just bad. So eventually he sent me for a CAT scan. Went for a CAT scan, and when the results came in, it said I had a lesion there. So I work with a doctor at my office, so she looked at it too. She's like, you know, there's something by your belly button. And I was just like, yeah, I see it. And So she's like, how long has this been going on? It's like, why haven't they did this and did that? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, you need to change your PCP and your GYN. So, which after a while I did, because I was just upset with basically just the GYN, but I was just upset. So overall, I changed all my doctors. He referred me to a surgeon. Went to a surgeon. The surgeon said, oh, it looks like a hernia. So, 1, 2, 3, it's an easy surgery. That will be good. So I had my surgery was set up for September. I'm thinking that I'm just going in for a hernia repair. That's all I'm thinking about going for. And when I was on the table, they tried to give me anesthesia. That didn't work. So they had to give me local anesthesia, which was painful to me. After a while, they're going in and they're taking out, they're repairing whatever, and they look and it's like, oh, what's that? And it's like, oh, that looks like an endometrioma. And I was just like, endometrioma? And it's like, okay, we're gonna send that for it to do a biopsy and to actually know if it's that. So I went home, recovery was for a week, and I was just like really nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I know my GYN told me that it might have been endometriosis. Now they found an endometrioma, and I was just all over the place. My emotions were all over the place. So went back to do a checkup, see how I'm doing. And the doctor was like, okay, so you have endometriosis, and they found endometrioma and this, that. And then they were like, have you ever seen, this is the surgeon talking to the, speaking to the other surgeon, have you ever seen it this far? Because I haven't. And then he's like, yes, I have. So that was just like, oh my God. Because once it travels outside of the area of the uterus, it's like it causes other issues as well. So for me, it was just terrifying. And I was just in a place of I was just lost, but the surgeon pulled me aside. It was like, you have to take, change your diet, do a lot of stuff, and which I did, and it has helped. But it's just sad that it wasn't just a bad cycle. And then I find out later on, I could have found out earlier, but I found out later on this is what it is. And I mean, my symptoms are still here. I'm always nauseous. The pain, have been feeling the pain recently come up again. So yeah, so it wasn't just a bad period. And with changing my diet, it has gotten better with the support of my mom, my boyfriend, and my aunt, and my friends. It has gotten, I'm happy that I have people in my corner, because not everyone knew about it, because I was just so terrified to say this was going on with me. I was like, I felt like when I research it and I look at and seeing that it's Endometriosis Awareness Month, people are suffering in silence, and I was suffering in silence because I really didn't want people to know. I don't know what it is, but it's just like the pain is unbearable, and it's grown, and I'm trying to control it. So far I have, and some days are better than some, but it's here. There's no cure for it. All I could do is just live my life, be healthy, and that's it. But there will be more videos, and thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for listening to my story.